echo what Larry said. It's just, you get up on the stage and it's Drew and it's Larry and it's Adam and it's Roger, and then when those guys come up on stage at the end is really cool. And I just remember my first NFL honors was 2012, and you get to see that class come out and how cool that was. And then all the Hall of Famers came up, and you know, it was Barry Sanders came up, and you just, Anthony Munoz, I grew up in Cincinnati, and to see those guys come up and say welcome is a really cool thing. And I think the biggest thing is, you look around in that crowd and you see guys that you played with, the guys that you played against, you see coaches, and you're just so fortunate to have been part of good teams, great organizations, and I think that's a big part of why we're all up here is we have great teammates. Drew had great receivers, he had great coaches. Larry, Kurt Warner came up, a guy that threw a lot of passes to Larry. All the specialists that Adam played with, from the long snappers to the holders. The reason that we're up here is because we had great teams, we had great teammates, and we had great coaches that highlighted what we did really well, and I think without them, we're not in the same position. Yeah, I think you look at this group, and like Drew kind of nailed it. We all had an opportunity to play against each other, and I think the one thing that I've appreciated with these guys is the longevity at which they played with. Guys played great long careers, and they evolved along the way, and I think, you know, I'll talk about Drew to start. You would watch him in his pregame warm-ups before anybody was out in pads. He'd go through his routine and he'd throw a ball and it'd be on perfect timing. You'd never think that receiver would catch that ball, but it was perfectly timed. His footwork was fantastic. That ball would be placed exactly where it needed to be, and then he'd go to read number 2, read number 3, and then read number 4. And that progression, that process, and that consistency allowed him to be the player that he was. And you look at Larry, played the whole time in Arizona, played outside, played inside, played like almost tight end position, could block, could run routes, could run deep, could run intermediate, could do the dirty work. And that's why guys like Larry played so long. He could have played outside his whole career and had a great year, but he understood, hey, I'm more valuable if I can move inside. And you look at the consistency at which Larry played, it's phenomenal, both outside and inside. And then Adam, he had 2 careers that most kickers would love to have, one with the Colts and obviously one with New England. And just the longevity that these guys played with and the consistency and how they went about their business was awesome. But I think the most important thing when you talk about guys in the NFL, there's a lot of really good football players. There's a lot of guys that are super talented, but I think the guys that appreciate the game the most would say, I enjoy being a good teammate. And I can say that about Adam. I played with guys that played with Adam. I played with guys that played with Larry, and same thing with Drew. They all say the same thing. Great players, obviously, phenomenal teammates, and I think that's something that these guys take a ton of pride in. Yeah, for me, I think I love the game of football. I love playing it. I love being in the locker room. I love traveling with the guys. I love competing on Sundays. And so, like Adam said, I wanted to make sure I could do that as long as I could. And that meant the off-season and training camp and OTAs and getting ready for games. I don't think you necessarily look at what life after football is. I think for me, it was always, I love this game so much. I have so much fun playing it. I love the guys on the team. I love the organization, the Carolina Panthers that I played for. And I want to do everything that I could, that I was the guy come first game of the year to walk out and play linebacker. And that was kind of always my mission, is I loved the game and I wanted to do everything I could to ensure my spot that next year to go out there and play.